You mean to tell me I just can't record this 5-second video
and throw it up and then go to my YouTube
voila.
settings and just click the $sign and keep it moving? We're back. Like that's I gotta say that with slightly more enthusiasm. Be back.
For the 99 and the 2000.
For the 99 and the 2000. Yes. Gotta hit that like one drop down to the floor, twerk real quick, like but yes, we are back. It is the Thumbstick Mafia Podcast, Season 2, Episode 1.
Y'all thought we weren't gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, we ain't even was sure. Nah, I'm joking. Okay, so the cat's just gonna start crying. Okay, all right. So he wants to be a part of the episode. My cat says hello. But yes, we're back. It's been a few months. The last episode we did was our Christmas episode, holiday episode, really. New year, new season. Almost knew us. We still ain't shit. But we are back. It's Sharky and Seeker. I mean, you should know us by now.
Right, and you should know where to find us. You can find me at Sharkyshood. You can find Seeker at Chasing Lux now. I don't know if you had that change. Did you make that change?
I had that change right toward the end of last season. Because low-key, I'm a secret agent. So I have to keep changing my identities so that I don't go get caught up. You know what I mean? My apps are changed. I try to consolidate all my social media, so I'm Chasing Lux on everything. Social media. Make it easier to find. It was a little bit sketchy. I had different names for everything last season.
Yes.
Should make it easier.
Yes. A lot easier. And as you a lot easier. And then it's #TMPod and then at Thumbstick Mafia. Isn't that our Twitter?
Is what?
Isn't that our Twitter at Thumbstick Mafia?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say.
At Thumbstick Mafia, thumbstickmafia.com, and the hashtag is, of course, #TMPod. And we'll post all that stuff in the show notes as we usually do. Not that y'all be paying attention to our show notes, but yeah, we do that. So, Sharky, what's been going on? It's been a few months. Update the folks. What you been doing?
Nothing. Nah, for real. Nah. Last episode I did announce that my sister had a baby, so I've been taking care of my adorable nephew. Call him Squish. Yes. So I've been like taking care of him like everybody works, and so that has been pretty amazing. A couple of, if you follow me on Twitter, a couple of Sims gameplay. I did a little series called Adulting, because I think I did that this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was at the start of the year. And it's really fucking funny.
Right. So you could go to my website on www. Oh, yeah, I have a website now. So www.sharkyshood.com. You can go there and catch up on the episodes of Adulting. I'm on episode 3, but I'm working on episode 4 now. So, yeah, and that's pretty much been it on my end.
Also, no, I'm going to plug, she did this Sims intro to Living Single, and I'm going to put that shit in the show notes because y'all don't even know what y'all are missing. Like, I saw that shit, and I kept going back to it, and I was laughing at it for like a good 3 days. Like, it was so on point. It didn't make any sense. Like, how she got all the Sims to actually looked like the cast and then had everything like sync up so perfectly, yeah, I'm definitely dropping that in the show notes. Sharky fake humble out here. She really do be killing it.
Thank you. I don't know. That's just been my thing. Like, just making my Sims do, like, just crazy, whatever I can think of, just trying to put it into the Sim universe, because actually playing the game has been heartbreaking, but that's another story. So what have you been up to?
Nothing. I kind of had to pull back a little bit at the end of last year. Depression is a hell of a drug. It was, a little bit difficult toward the end of last year, but, thank the goddess for her mercy. I'm alive and shit. I didn't die. And this year has been pretty dope so far. Went to PAX. Paneled at PAX, my first panel with the awesome ladies of Black Girl Gamers. That's dope. And then I've just been trying to get back into content creation and streaming. I started an inclusive, because y'all MFs can't be left out of nothing. Y'all like, oh, Thumbstick Mafia only for women. What are we gonna do? So I created Defenders of Light, which is pretty much, you could call it a clan for both PlayStation and for Xbox One. So it's for men and women. It doesn't matter. LGBTQIA, whatever. You game, you got thumbs, you need people to play with. Come hang. Only rule is don't be an asshole. That's about it. So you can search Defenders of Light on PlayStation Community or on the Xbox One Club, and you can go ahead and send a request. And what else have I been doing? I've been doing the Defenders of Light Overwatch 101 clinics every week. That's been fun. But just writing, content creating, trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to deal with the expectation that somehow y'all think I'm popping because I went to one event. That's not true. The devil is a lie. I'm still a hermit. Still don't like to go outside. So that's about, I think that wraps it up. For me, haven't been doing too much but the usual.
I like how you I haven't been doing too much, but I just did a panel at PAX.
But see, I don't want to talk about it too much because we are gonna have a PAX recap show. So
no, I get that, but it just seems I didn't do much, but some people be in this game for years and just all they did was just let me fall back.
Girl, and listen, it was humbling and it was definitely a blessing, and that's why I feel like I am this way about it, because I understand that, hey, that really was some once in a lifetime amazingness that just happened to me. So for me, it's more of taking in that experience, trying to learn as much as I can from it and grow as much as I can from it, versus hey, I went to PAX. For me, it's definitely been an internal confirmation that I am on the right track and that I do need to get back to work. And that's why we back. So we're all caught up. We're not gonna talk too much, because the one thing we're not gonna do this season is no 2-3 hour episodes. Remember, I said that. So when we have the long episode, don't come for me. But but we're gonna try to keep it manageable, so you can digest the entire episode on your way to work or something, and not have to keep pressing pause to continue.
Yeah.
Today we're actually wanting to talk to you about content creation and revenue sharing, and Sharky the God is gonna go ahead and school y'all on some things, and me on some things, really. So I'm gonna let her take over. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I gotta take over.
Yeah, girl, because you're gonna have to start it up. You're the one with the financials and the brains, okay? I'm just gonna be here asking the questions what?
I don't,
girl, what that mean?
I don't have anything. I just look at the pieces and I try to put it together to try to make a scenario that I can kind of play with, so I can base what I'm doing now on, a possible future, or I'm trying to plan. I don't No. Like, one thing that I get concerned about when I talk about stuff like this, or like when giving advice in general, is I don't want people to look at what I'm saying as like the golden rule. It's not a golden rule. There isn't no, oh, follow these steps and they'll guarantee success. No one can give you those steps. Like, no one can tell you what you need for you. All that anybody can do is just show you what's out there. Explain to you what's out there, what's happening right now, and make suggestions. And it's always on you to look at all those things and figure out how to place it in your life or in your brand, in your content, whatever you're trying to do to best suit you, your needs, what you're trying to do. That's all it's ever really about. And so I guess my biggest thing is just that I don't want people to look at it, oh yeah, she got all the answers, she did, because I don't. I just want to show y'all that there's something different. Like, there is more that you can do, particularly when it comes to game streaming, than just sitting in front of your computer 40 hours a week just streaming.
Facts.
You know? So yeah, that I just want to kind of like give that, I guess, disclaimer.
Yes, we are not purporting to be experts. We are trying to give you the tools that you need, the tools that we come across, so that you can make better decisions for you, your content, and the way that you want to present that, and possibly, generate income from that. And that's really what the aim of like TM Pod, the podcast, is really about. It's really about the cultural insight that you would need to make, better decisions, versus saying, hey, this is the only way. Because there's no one approach to success. And what my success looks like may not be what your success looks like, but it doesn't make it any less valid.
Exactly. Like, you might do the complete opposite of what I do and hit it. That's just how it is.
Yes.
So that's why at the end of the day, you just have to look within and figure out, what's the greatest path for you.
Right. And I'll kick it off with this persona mess.
Woo!
Because I get it and I don't get it. And it's 2017, so I don't know why Persona is living in the past like this. But they have quite a few restrictions. They put out a whole ass press release about asking folks not to stream. A whole ass, like, with points, bullet points, separate parts, everything. They don't want you to stream spoilers. They didn't want you to stream, period, if you could avoid it, or create videos that had plot points. And their reasoning was simply, hey, folks have been waiting a long time for the game. Whose fault is that, all this? Folks have been waiting a long time for the game, and they don't want, the game ruined for people. But it's 2017. You could barely be on the timeline at the same time that your favorite show is on without spoilers. It's a really tough thing. Like, I feel like their heart is in the right place because they want the game to be enjoyed. Who doesn't? But you can't really think that in this age of instant gratification, and also with how big streamer culture is and shared stream culture is, that somehow you can put a stop to any sharing. It's going to happen.
Correct. But the funny thing is that after all those bullet points, at the very end, it says you can post straight gameplay or have commentary.
Right.
So I'm confused. So it's like, because it's like, okay, you can't do this, you can't do it, but you can post straight gameplay or have commentary. So it's just, it kind of confused me at first because it was reading like, okay, just ignore everything you just said.
Yeah, it was weird because, and I'll give some of the bullet points just so you guys have an idea, and I'll link all, of course, also in the show notes. One of the bullet points is no major story spoilers, and I'll leave that to your good judgment. If you need some guidelines, avoid spoiling the ending segments of the first 3 palaces. While you can show initial reactions with Yusuke, avoid his awakening scene and that whole deal about the painting. Also, don't post anything about a certain student investigator. Then they, right under that, they said, I know I mentioned not showing the end of each palace, but you can grab footage from the Kamoshida boss fight. However, don't capture video from the other major boss fights. It's like,
what the hell?
Right. And then the next point after that is must not focus solely on the cutscenes. Animated scenes should prominently feature dungeon crawling, spending time in Tokyo. And then the last bullet point is you can post straight gameplay or have commentary. So if the straight gameplay is a boss fight.
Right. It literally contradicts everything they just said in the previous points. Right. Now, here is where I am with this. And because we were about to talk about this and we were like, you know what, let's hit record.
Mm-hmm.
I am very sensitive when it comes to content creators' work. And I'm sensitive to, people following the rules that content creators, set for their work. It's like, if you say you can't do this, then don't do it. It's like,
right.
It is what, don't do it, don't buy it, just don't. Particularly because with me being a content creator and talking and, chatting and just experiencing, what goes on in this field, I see how people just steal other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild in these internet streets. It's really wild. People just have no respect for other people's property or intellectual work. They just have none. It is what it is. They will take it. They would monetize it. They would slap their name on it. They would do whatever the hell they want to your stuff, And then on top of that, they don't even want to give you credit for it. They don't want to pay you for it. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to have the freedom to do whatever they want with your stuff. So it's like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, look, just follow the rules when it comes to the actual video recording, video gameplay.
Right.
However, you can't tell nobody how to write about it.
Yeah.
You can't tell nobody how that's one thing where I'm just like, okay, look, if I, write an article about it, whatever, you can't tell me how to write about the game, about my personal opinions, or whether I talk about this, that, and the other. Like, you can't tell me how to do that. That's like a movie director or studio telling you that, okay,
you can't post a review.
Exactly, you can't post a review, and if you do, you can't talk about XYZ, da da da. Like, what the hell? No, fall all the way back with that. I don't think the biggest thing is, oh, well, we don't want people to be spoiled. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 2017. Like, you're asking for an impossible thing. That's, people have been streaming the game since last week.
Mm-hmm. And if people want to be spoiled, who the hell are you to tell somebody they can't be spoiled?
And that's the thing. They would have to seek it out. They would have to go to a stream, go to a YouTube channel. And there are some people who prefer that experience. They do prefer to have an idea of what the game looks like. Some people will watch an entire gameplay through on a stream and then play it, or they would watch the stream to decide if they want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into that sketchy thing where it's do you really understand streaming culture? Do you understand how gaming culture has evolved? Because you cannot put these arbitrary restrictions on it. I can see you saying hey, don't stream, before the release date. Valid. Don't repost the entire thing online, because that was another point that they were asking. Please limit each video to at most 90 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I'm kind of oh, okay, I get it. But, man, ain't nobody doing that.
For real. But I feel like the bottom line is that they're concerned that if people watch the game, then they're not going to buy it. Because there are a lot of people who just want to watch it because probably played or seen Persona 4 gameplay. They probably saw
or watched the anime.
I was just about to say,
are not even interested in playing the game, but they're interested in the story. Like, I watched the anime. I'm not gonna get the Persona game. I'm not really. No, that's not me. But am I gonna watch Persona streams? Hell yeah. Am I gonna watch literally every detail? Absolutely.
Exactly. And that, I think, is really what's kind of ticking them off, because before it was you had to either play the game to figure out what's going on, read about it, or you just didn't know. But now that people have that option, they're like, okay, well, we're not getting paid off these people because these people aren't buying our game. But they weren't going to buy it regardless.
But is there not a value placed on that you do have fans that even if they don't play the game, they would be willing to spend X amount of time watching it? There has to be some sort of value found in that. I know it's not dollars, but it's a certain level of retention. When you have a platform that has different multimedia aspects of it, like the anime, manga, game, you can't necessarily expect all of those to intersect all of the time. A lot of people who play the games too don't really necessarily watch the show, any of the series. So I think it's a little bit unfair to separate it that way, because you're still a part of the culture that Persona created.
It's extremely unfair. And I kind of think that goes into a second point that I kind of want to make, is because there's value in that audience, the people who just want to watch it, there's value, but the way people are looking at it, if I can't make dollars, then it don't make sense. You know?
Right. And so, I don't know why I'm acting brand new, like I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm just saying that, you would think that by now people would understand that fandoms, even when they're not spending money, they're spending time, they're defending you, they're enamored and endeared to your company and your brand, even if you're not getting money from them. So you know what? When you do release the next Persona movie, or you release a backpack or some other gear, those are going to be the people that are still there and still excited about your product. Like, if you're only thinking about it like, well, I only care about you if you're going to spend money to buy and play the game, then shit. Then what about the other stuff? Like, can I bring the hours that I've watched Persona in and send it into Altus and be like, hey, can you, Atlas, and be like, hey, can you give me a break on this? Because I got receipts. Like, I've seen all the Personas. I've spent dozens of hours. Does it equate to however long the game is? And can I get a pass on that?
You already know what the answer is.
I know.
We don't even have to. You already know what that answer is.
Girl, nah.
But I do think we are headed into an era, I guess, to where gaming studios are going to start thinking about the people who just, who spend hours watching, engaging, but don't necessarily buy for whatever reason. I think we're headed into product placement.
I see it.
There have always been small examples of it in various video games, but I think it is going to be a lot bigger now, because from where I stand right now, I feel that is the only way companies will be able to monetize that audience. I cannot see it any other way. And I truly feel like companies aren't going to be satisfied with streaming culture as a whole until they figure out how to monetize that audience.
And they're going to, because look at the numbers for the streaming sites. If you put all of the the video game streaming site numbers together, it's pretty crazy. It's a really big number, and that's if you put them all together. Just Twitch alone, which is the powerhouse, then now at Facebook Live, it's taking off. They're definitely gonna find a way to do it, but I'm nervous about it because I feel like it's always going to end up impacting the viewer. You know what I mean? In a more negative way. I can see how it's going to work for the game companies themselves. I don't know if they're going to do it like a royalties kind of thing, based on like gaming population, but we're definitely headed toward a slippery slope, and I just hope that they take it easy at first. Cause you know how you know how things like go from like 0 to 100, like in the gaming culture. Like I hope that they're a little bit gentle with how they make that push at first, because the one thing that will be a huge turnoff is if it becomes this like gaudy thing that you cannot avoid in every single game. There's definitely games that it's worked for and works for. Like I know like lots of sports games, they do it. It's really easy because, you know, that's sort of already the environment. I do notice it like here or there with like, you know, like indie games where they kind of like, you know, like they'll color the Coke can like a different, you know, color, or they'll move the label. But I feel like it's going to be the same way that it is in like movies now. Like you see how like with Power Rangers, they have like Power Rangers and like all these random ass ads. And I personally hate shit like that when there's like sci-fi type movie characters just in like a regular like ad for like a Lincoln Town car. Like I don't know. I don't want to see that. But I feel like we're going to get to that place where we're going to start to see like video game characters in these commercials and then have it, you know, link back in game.
Correct. And that's the whole thing about product placement. It has to be done right and discreetly for it to work. A lot of people miss out on that discreet part. Like I was watching a reality show and it was a scene where they were in the kitchen talking about something, and out of nowhere, there was just zoomed in close up on some secret deodorant. I'm like, bitch, you're in the kitchen talking about something that's not like hygiene related, but we just zoomed in on this deodorant for what reason? Like, what the hell? Because you have not at least scripted a scene to incorporate that deodorant. We just in here in the kitchen, and next thing you know, we just zooming in on this secret deodorant. I mean, I guess it was secret. I don't know. I know it was just some damn deodorant. So that's the one thing about product placement, because I'm not completely against it. It has to be done right and discreetly. It's for me, I stand the fuck out for Quantum Break. I got my entire damn life. The story, don't get me wrong, the story was good. I don't know how to game. I didn't play it, whatever. But what stood out for me was just looking at the placement of the Microsoft products. Mm-hmm. And then in like one of the major fight scenes, I saw this huge ass Nissan billboard, which it really wasn't out of place, to be honest. Right. It was set in the city. There was billboards. It was like there were other signs. I don't think there were other sponsors. But it wasn't out of place.
Yeah, it was very tastefully done. And I played through like maybe an hour of the game, and I really enjoyed it. And that reminds me that I need to go and finish it. But yeah, and it's not really until you brought up the product placement to me in Quantum Break that I took a second. I was like, it was so natural, and it wasn't like annoying. It wasn't like, hey, buy this. It was like, this is a part of regular life. We're seeing, you know what I mean, a play out of a snapshot of somebody's life in the game, and they have a tablet and they're drinking soda, and you know what I mean, they're walking down the street and there's a billboard, or you know what I mean. It was very natural in a sense that I didn't even really notice it.
And that's where I'm hoping we're headed, because the way game developers would have to set up a tier payment plan for it, because it would have to be set up to where the product is an integral part of the game, meaning that the characters use it, they talk about it, it's in the cutscenes, it's all that. That would be like the most expensive, because once it's integrated, it can't be taken out. Right. Or they have to go through a hell of a lot of work. That would be the most expensive. A tier below that would be like the Nissan in the background. I think the Nissan car was a part of it too.
Yeah.
But with the car not being in it itself in the cutscenes and stuff, just that billboard, that would be a tier below, and that is something that can be changed with maybe an update. Mm-hmm. So maybe you have a game that can be played throughout for a couple of years, a multiplayer game, whatever. With one single update, their billboards, their signs, their whatever their background thing is, kind of changes. A simple change. So now you don't see the Nissan. Now you see Coke.
Right.
You know, or you see a clothing store. Or it might even be tailored to the gamer.
Right.
Because they already don't think they're asking for this information just to be nice about your gender, your age, don't think it's just
demographics, baby. They're targeting those ads.
Security. Don't think it's simply because one day I bet money. One day you're gonna pop in your game and your gaming experience, what you see is gonna be tailored to the demographics that you put in your profile. That's why they are clamoring for it. Like on one of my actually it's Mafia 3. They keep pushing me to create a My2 account just so I can get some silly gun and an outfit. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to. I don't want to, you know? But that is why these companies are pushing for you to sign. And that's why there are so many. Because that's where we're headed.
And then also, like, I'm noticing a lot of games have, like, their own apps now. So they're drawing information from your phone, from how much you use the app, for what you use the app for. Like, Destiny has an app, Warframe has an app. Like, pretty much most of, like, the bigger games either have an app directly from the gaming company, or there's a third-party app or site that is used to either connect with gamers, to get information, both, or, you know, just to get information about the game, period. And that's also another way that they're getting that information. You log onto your computer, they pull in all them cookies, be like, they know everything you like. And they're going to use that information. Like, that information doesn't just go nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And streamers, I'm sorry, this is just something y'all gonna have to deal with. You might be listening to be like, oh, man, whatever. It's either they're going to monetize your viewing audience, they're going to figure out how to get them coins. Because trust and believe, they could sit there and go to a company, they can pull up Twitch, YouTube, and say, look, I have 100,000 people watching this live right now, and you can have an ad right here. Think they won't.
Oh, girl, they will.
Think they
will.
Think they won't. And if I feel like it's either that, or we're going to have these restrictions because they're going to get their coins.
They definitely are going to get their coins. They're going to do whatever they can to get them coins.
Exactly.
And as always, there's going to be games that handle it very tastefully, and there's going to be games that, you know, bash you in the face with it.
And it's going to be the mistakes. Oh my God, they're going to be so horrendous. I already see it now. Because honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. Because I'm not talking about this as oh my gosh, this is just going to be the end. It's not. It's just, come on. Like,
it's the next step. It's the next natural evolution in gaming and marketing and advertising. Because, I mean, like it or not, we are popular culture now. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to have to get used to all of it.
And even when it comes to the content creators themselves, them streamers themselves, this is something they have to think about when it comes to their brand. Do I want to? Let's go to the next point. Let's go. All right, so I guess we can go into the ad revenue and freedom of speech.
Oh, girl, YouTube. YouTube is over, party. Let's talk about that.
Listen to the entire episode at www.thumbstickmafia.com. Direct link to the episode is available in the description box below. The podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Android, and Stitcher under the Three Fifs Podcast Network. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at Thumbstick Mafia. Want to share in the discussion? Then use the hashtag TMPod. Again, thank you for listening.